Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, the Hood, and welcome back to the Baseball Hood 2, and hope you like this video and subscribe. We're going to talk about Juan Soto in this video. The big kind of report, I guess, that went out there about Juan Soto getting traded. Now I'm going to talk about also where he's going to get traded to. But again, you hit that subscribe button to find out what's going on, and continue to follow me on you. So, as you know, Juan Soto's been with the Padres for the last year and a half. He got traded at the 2022 MLB trading deadline and last season. And he's been in San Diego, and he doesn't seem like he's all that happy from what we understand. That sort of was the rumor. The Padres are also known to be probably going to be shedding a lot of payroll. And they're not going to be able to resign him, and it doesn't seem like he wants to stay there. So we have here from Mesmerized Online a report. Juan Soto 100% going to be traded. Okay? San Diego Padres outfielder Juan Soto is 100% going to be traded before the 2024 season. Buster Olney of ESPN said on the Michael Kay show on Friday. Well, the Michael Kay show, once in a while a blind squirrel gets a nut. Soto's still just 25. Has already played 7 Major League seasons and established himself as one of the brightest stars in the game. Given the slew of large contracts the Padres already committed to, Olney said he sees Soto as the most obvious choice to be dealt. Quote, it makes sense that they would do that given the other assets that they have, and the fact you can't trade Manny Machado with his contract, which is enormous, and he didn't have a good year. You can't trade Xander Bogaerts with his contract. He just signed the contract. He did not have a great year. Yul Darvish, Joe the Greaseball Musgrove. Those are massive contracts that you just can't be moved. So I do think Soto's going to be moved. People who are in other front offices absolutely believe the Padres are going to trade him. Soto is set to become a free agent in 2025, giving him one more year left on his current contract. There have been reports of the Padres discussing a potential contract extension with Soto, but nothing has materialized from that. Now, his agent is Scott Boras, so we know Boras. He takes his players to free agency. He may resign there, but like I said, they don't have a lot of money now. Soto was drafted and developed by the Washington Nationals, and we don't care about that. This is what's said by Olney. That's one where A.J. Preller and Scott Boras can come out and say, no, that's not going to be the case. All you have to do is look at the math. Olney said, if in fact the Padres are going to get their payroll down to $200 million or $220, which would be a massive reduction, they're going to have to make a move with Soto. The Padres' total payroll in 23 was listed as $281 million by Spotrac, with Soto making $23 million. He was the second highest paid player on the team behind Bogaerts, but unlike many of San Diego's other key players, his contract is set to expire. Fernando Tatis Jr. just finished the third year of a massive 14-year contract, while Machado and Bogaerts each just completed the first season of their respective 11-year deals. Soto's impending free agency offers a lot more flexibility than those who are locked up for the long term. Given that Soto only has one guaranteed year left, he wouldn't necessarily garner the largest haul. Still, the Padres should be able to get some quality prospects for him, if nothing else. At the end of Olney's comments on the Michael Not Okay show, he mentioned the New York Yankees as a possible landing spot, another team that disappointed in 2023. And if you're going to try to map out a potential Yankees offseason, he, to me, is the most logical target because he's not going to necessarily require a big deal, Olney said. A team's confidence that it could extend Soto after trading for him could also factor into what it's willing to give up. How aggressive it's going to be to make a potential Soto deal happen. In any case, Soto's the most coveted name on the trade market right now, complementing the intense Shohei Ohtani interest on the free agency market. He'll be receiving a lot of money from someone in the near future. The question is whether it will be an extension from the Padres, an extension from somebody else, or a free agent deal in 2025. All right, now in this part of the video, we're going to rank the top 10 teams that could be making a deal for Juan Soto. Some of these teams have the money, have the wherewithal, but may not have the prospects, and it might be a situation where the Padres don't want to deal with them. At number 10, well, who would they not want to trade him to? Well, the Los Angeles Dodgers, for obvious reasons. Now, the rumor is that the Dodgers are all likely going to land Shohei Ohtani. They are the preeminent favorite, but he is not signed with them yet. And until he signs with them, you don't know. But I would highly doubt, probably a 0% chance, the Dodgers trade for Juan Soto, just due to the fact that the Padres are going to trade Soto to the Dodgers. I would mention that the Padres last year were sort of bragging about how they were the new team in California, the big team out in the National League West. That did not happen. So now it's certainly not going to deal him to the Dodgers. Number 9, the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that went to the World Series. The Padres are willing to trade Soto within the National League West. The San Francisco Giants make the most sense, and they rank in our top 5 as a result. But the Dodgers certainly had the money and a vacancy in left field to make a run at Soto. That's not happening. The Diamondbacks, who also have a vacancy in left with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. heading into free agency, might view Soto as the missing piece that could bring them a World Series ring in 2024. Again, they're not going to trade within division, I would not think. Although the Diamondbacks have a very good farm system, very deep. You saw it this year when they were able to play so well late in the season and were able to get to the World Series. Number 8 on this list, the Baltimore Orioles, the cheapskate Baltimore Orioles. I don't expect them to make any big moves this offseason. I don't expect them to do any moves. Because John Angelos, the owner, is cheap. He said that if he has to make any moves, that he will raise prices on tickets. One of these days, the Orioles are going to spend some money, right? Even after all the solid rookies they're churning out over the past 2 years, the Orioles still have a farm system more deep enough to put together a great package without gutting themselves. While we don't have Baltimore in the top 5 for a Soto trade in the offseason, the Orioles may well be the top candidate to land him if he's on the market next summer as a 2-month rental. Again, I don't see them moving any of their players for anybody. Just don't see it. Number 7, the Toronto Blue Jays. Between Matt Chapman, Jin Ryu, these names sometimes they kill me, Kevin Kiermaier, and Brandon Belt, the Blue Jays have more than $50 million freeing up from the party free agents because they have inexplicably refused to sign either Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or Bo Bichette to long-term extensions. They have the future capital to trade for Soto and immediately make him the face of their franchise for the next decade. The problem is they have one of the worst farm systems at the moment. So putting together a top 5 offer could be a challenge, even if this would be a good fit. That's not going to happen. The Chicago Cubs, the desperate Chicago Cubs trying to get land a big player. Although they landed a big manager, they stabbed David Ross in the back, and he is now unemployed. And they got the skunk, Craig Counsell as the manager there. After spending big for a new manager, and after losing both Cody Bellinger and Marcus Stroman, you're not losing Marcus Stroman to free agency, folks. The Cubs figured to be pretty aggressive this offseason, but they do really need an outfielder when they're already committed to a combined $120 million between Celia Suzuki and Ian Happ through the next 3 seasons. And when Pete Crow Armstrong might be the next big thing in baseball, I would not go that far. Has he gotten a hit? Did he get a hit in September? If Soto wants to follow in Bryce Harper's footsteps and make a switch to first base, now we're talking. Even if that's on the table, though, it's arguably more likely that the Cubs spend big on Shohei Ohtani, Blake Snell, or Aaron Nola than trade for Soto, or are desperate to trade for the New York Mets first baseman, our good buddy and not toxic player, Pete Alonso. Okay, next up on this list, which is it's just not happening, the San Francisco Giants. Okay. Michael Conforto somewhat surprisingly opted in for one more year, and the San Francisco reduced the Giants' desperation to bring another outfielder this offseason. At this point, they had their primary trio of 2024 set, and they did. Why did Michael do that? Why did he do that? I guess maybe he didn't have a good year. Trading for Soto might be their best chance at adding some much-needed star power. Plus, given the absurd year he just had against the Giants, trading for him and no longer needing to worry about facing him is basically self-preservation. Hit 8 home runs in 13 games. Wow. The Giants aren't going to want to trade Kyle Harrison or Marco Luciano from what figures to be their opening day roster, but the Padres likely won't want to trade Soto for the teenagers and rookie single-A ball who make a good chunk of the top of San Fran's farm system. This might need to be a 4 quarters for $1 type of deal for the Giants, which might not be enough to entice the Padres. Here's the trade package. Left-handed pitcher Carson Whisenhunt, who I've heard good things about. He's their number 2 best starter left-handed. Shortstop Averson Ortega, outfielder Wade Meckler, and right-handed pitcher Landon Roop for Juan Soto. The New York Mets are number 4 on this list. See what they have to say about the Mets. This is the Mets' current outfield DH quartet. Brandon Nimmo, okay. Starlin Marte, who knows where he is at this point. Jeff McNeil, we'll see if he's with the club. DJ Stewart, I would think they'll give him a contract. And that load, Daniel Vogelback. We'll see if Vogelback gets sent out of here. Hopefully does. General consensus since the August 1st trade deadline has been that the Mets are going to take it easy this offseason. If they're involved in the block process of trade, it's more likely that they'll be parting ways with Pete Alonso. It's a big mistake. Don't do it. But if Mets owner Steve Cohen decides he doesn't want to be a spectator in the bidding wars for Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, and more, the Mets could use a corner outfielder. They're all set with Nimmo in center. However, Marte was a disaster. He was a mess. And if they traded away Tommy Pham and Mark Cannon, none of Stewart, Ortega, or Tim LeCastro exactly made a great case for a starting gig. You did not pay attention to DJ Stewart. He hit so well, folks, that he deserves a chance to be on the Mets roster going into spring training. I wouldn't give him the starting spot, but he hit really well. He was raking. So this article doesn't know what they're talking about. They could go with McNeil on either left or right if they're ready for Ronnie Maurice to take over at second. But Soto could take whichever spot McNeil doesn't take. Or Soto could be the primary DH. The Mets are committed to still playing Marte on a daily basis. I would not expect Marte to be an everyday player with the Mets. Would they immediately extend Soto? Now, here's the trade package. Just the thing I know you'd be interested in. Outfielder Alex Ramirez, right-handed pitcher Jose Butto, and right-handed pitcher Justin Jarvis for Juan Soto. That's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. I know the Mets farm system really well. Please subscribe to Prospect Hut. I'll put the Prospect Hut a link into this video. This will not get it done. This is not a trade that the Padres will make. Alex Ramirez has taken a major step back as a prospect. He was on a top 100 list going into last season. He's not anymore. He's the Mets' 10th best prospect. He had a brutal season in Brooklyn. That's not going to happen. Right-handed pitcher Jose Butto. He did not. He's been sort of taking a step back. His control has been horrific. He's pitched okay when the Mets had him up this year, but he's not even on the top 30 prospect list of the Mets right now. And Justin Jarvis was a complete disaster with the Mets once the Mets traded for him for Mark Cannon. So that is a terrible trade for Juan Soto. David, let me tell you something. For Juan Soto, I would expect that the Padres would want to have guys like Luis Angel Acuna, Drew Gilbert, Jet Williams. Those are the players that they'd be asking for. And probably Blade Tidwell, Christian Scott, players like that. And now number 3 on this list, the Boston Red Sox. Let's see what their deal would be. Now, I don't know their farm system. There are 2 players for the farm. A second baseman, Nick York, and left-handed pitcher, Shane Drohan. That's not going to do it. How are you going to be able to trade a guy that's a generational player? Even he's been there for a year and a half. For 2 players, just in volume. From the Mariners, number 2. That seems to be the most logical spot for him, from what I understand. Right-handed pitcher Emerson Hancock, outfielder Jonathan Clase, and first baseman, third baseman Tyler Locklear. You're going to need at least 4 players to trade for Soto, just in terms of the numbers. And number 1 on this list, the New York Yankees. See what they say for the New York Yankees. Oofa. This is not a great deal. Whoever came up with these deals, they don't know what they're talking about. Nestor Cortez, right-handed pitcher Drew Thorpe, who I guess is the number 2 best prospect in their system, and shortstop Trey Sweeney. I have no clue who he is. But I know one thing about the Yankees farm system. They're a bottom third farm system. None of these packages, in particular the Mets package or the Yankees package in this Bleacher Report article, is going to get it done. It is not going to get it done. Trust me. That Met trade is not going to get it done. It'll start with Luis Angel Acuna, Drew Gilbert, Jet Williams. Those are the names that they'd want. And then they work their way down. They'd probably be looking for Marco Vargas, Ron Hernandez, or maybe not the catcher. None of the catchers would be, there would be no catchers going in this deal. If people want to mention any catchers in a deal going to the Padres have the best catching prospect in baseball, and his name is Ethan Salas. And he is only 17, 18 years old, and he's the best catching prospect in the game. They say that he can catch a major league game right now. And he's a great offensive player, and the offense is trying to catch up to how great he is as the defensive player. So any package is not going to include any catchers. Just so you know, I've studied some of these farm systems now since June. They have one of the best prospects in baseball with Ethan Salas. So, what do you think about these trade proposals? Do you think he's going to get traded? I think he's going to get traded. I think it's a pretty obvious thing. And of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.